All right, everybody, welcome back to the Traveling Transformer. I'm here with Cameron Ehteshami, Mr. Arbitrary
How
Hero.
are you doing?
Not bad. How you doing, buddy?
Feeling good. Tired, but good.
Oh, come on. You ain't that tired. I don't want to hear it. You
well,
got home at like
I
10.
I have a funny story about that.
Good.
I got into Cincinnati at like 10-ish or 11, but then there's like a festival happening in Cincinnati called Blink, and the street that I park on to get into my building was all closed off. So I had to go park somewhere else and then walk home. So I'm a sleepy boy, but it's okay.
Well, you're also an early riser, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. All right. Well, before we get too crazy out of it, let's just tell everyone a little bit about Cameron and about Arbitrary Hero and your player bio.
Yeah, so to start off, Arbitrary Hero is a group channel. There is like 10 of us
Right.
that all do different videos. It's mostly an excuse for my friends and I to get together and play video games on Sunday mornings instead of going to church. It's worked brilliantly so far.
Okay. Your own religion.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, and then out of that group of friends, I'm the only one that like I love Transformers a lot more than anyone else is willing to tolerate. So I
Sure.
thought that the YouTube channel was a good way for me to meet other people that like Transformers as much as I do and not annoy the crap out of my friends constantly with it.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, yeah. So I started with the toys, and then the game got announced, and it came out, and I tried it at PAX Unplugged, and I think that's where we met for the first time,
Mm,
and I loved it. And I'm not a huge TCG guy, but I like this one a lot, not just in the flavor, but in the mechanics.
mhm.
So I've been playing ever since.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I we may have come in passing it PAX Unplugged, but I don't think we either of us really remember it. Like it probably
Yeah,
happened because there was only like 20, 25 of us, so I'm sure it happened. But that was my first time learning the game also, so you know. But since then, you've come a long way, right? I mean, you did the open in Columbus, top 32. You did the open at Gen Con, top
top
32.
32. Yeah.
And now what we're going to get into now is PPT Columbus, first pro play tour for the game. It's this new circuit going on. It's just close to your home, which was awesome for you. So you got to go out.
Very.
I really want to hear just about the experience about the PP tour in general, and how you did, why you decided to play what you did, and just the general atmosphere of the whole event.
Yeah, so it was. I'm not sure what I was expecting. Since I haven't played other games, I'm not familiar with. I forget what the company. The Pro Play Tour is the event. The company is PPG.
PPG,
I
yeah,
always mix those two up.
yeah, well,
Um, but they announced that they were doing this tournament. They were kicking off. Is it three tournaments?
yep,
One in Columbus, one in Dallas, one in Vegas.
and then the finals in Orlando.
Yeah, so they announced they're doing that series like 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, maybe
as of this
maybe
recording,
three
I think.
weeks, maybe.
Yeah, three. Yeah, and at first I was like, I don't think I would travel to Vegas or Dallas
Right,
necessarily, but I was like, oh, Columbus is close by. That's like
right.
a local qualifier that I'd go to, and so I was pretty excited to go play in a bigger event. Cincinnati, for our locals, I think our biggest qualifier was 8 people.
Okay.
So when they announced this, I thought at least it'll be bigger than that, and that'll be a cool opportunity.
Yeah.
And then since I already qualified at Gen Con, I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to try and stretch myself as a player, play something new, and learn and try and push kind of the boundaries of what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
Previously, I've generally played aggro decks.
Mhm.
Origins was Sentinels, and then Gen Con was an orange slanted General Optimus.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was comfortable with. I wanted to try something different, and I've been enjoying Shockwave and testing and kind of. I know we've talked on the Discord and everything about the different Shockwaves that you and Scott have been running, and I've enjoyed testing it out. So I decided I would bring a Shockwave deck list because it's blue. It requires, I think, a lot more precision thinking, which I think if people watch the streams that I was on, you can see that I haven't developed those skills quite yet.
Don't discredit yourself. I think like if you didn't you I don't know if you I don't even know if it's archived or not, but the games against you and Stefan, like there wasn't even a commentator, so like it was literally just you guys, the background music, you know.
Oh, really? Oh, we were wondering if we could be heard. Yeah.
No, we couldn't hear anything that the players were saying.
Probably for the best. No, it was Stefan and I are chatty Cathy. So. But yeah, it was like the Pro Play Tour itself was awesome. I think after Origins of Gen Con, I didn't expect, those were multiple day events, and I expected, 100-ish people. I think Origins hit close to that number of individual players, and Gen Con exceeded that number, I'm pretty sure, of individual players.
Yeah.
I figured the Pro Play Tour would be not that big because it's only one day, but still bigger than any local.
Yeah, for you guys, yeah.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by, there was 19 of us. I guess I was expecting a bit more, but I wonder if that was maybe the short notice and then kind of what they worked out so far in prize support. Maybe Dallas and Vegas will be bigger, especially if it's an opportunity for West Coast guys who couldn't come all the way to the Midwest to get closer events.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a couple things. It was definitely short notice. I think that it's the Sunday afternoon thing could also play a part in it. It's kind of rough. Like, had I gone, it would have been, the event ended at like almost 8:30 at night. So like for me, leaving there at like 9:30, if we're being realistic, I wouldn't have got home till like 6 in the morning. So it's just not it's not an easy ask for driving. And then like even if you were flying, who's to say that you can even get a flight out of there? At 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday, you probably would have had to wait till Monday morning. So I think scheduling wise right now, it's kind of tough. And it just means like, if you go to one of these, you probably have to take off Monday, if you're traveling to one of them, not if you're like local, like, you were fortunate enough, you were local, you were like an hour halfway ish, So I think to that standpoint, it's going to be more of like a souped up local, which is fine. It's still good for the game if you can get people that are 2-3 hours away to come, because they're not going to come to like, a normal, Joe Schmo Wednesday event, but they're going to come to this because you guys are playing for something more and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think it definitely helped that this was, right, they had the qualifier season. They worked out a deal with Wizards of the Coast so they could stretch out this. This was the last qualifier for Energon Invitational before the last minutes at PAX itself.
Right. No, so like did you guys confirm the ones in Dallas will not be?
I guess we haven't.
Okay.
But all I heard was the Columbus is a qualifier.
Right. Yeah, I knew Columbus was. We just weren't sure if Dallas would have been like that last chance type thing.
You're right, because that is. Still
it's a couple weeks before.
PAX. Yeah. That's like Thanksgiving weekend.
I think it's the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. I could be wrong.
To
be honest. It's the 24th. That's all I know. If that's Thanksgiving weekend, I don't know.
Yeah.
I probably should.
It was neat. It was a lot of fun. In terms of like the event itself, I think they ran it super well. Like it was smaller, so there was less chaos than at Gen Con, but they kept that timer.
Good.
We were in I was surprised when we finished 5 rounds and it was only like 5:30. I was like, oh damn, they really buckled through. Yeah, because normally I think that long would have taken like 6 or 7 hours at Gen Con and Origins.
I don't know. It depends. You guys are, at the end of the day, it was a smaller event, so that helps. It's less people you have to worry about going to time, etc. So that definitely helps. Also, the big thing, if you remember, like when we were doing those big events at Gen Con and Origins, there wasn't a top 8 to be played, right? It was just like you got in top 8, great, and then go get dinner.
Yeah, that's it for the day.
So it's a little different now. This is more in line with like most games where like you play this long day and then you play in the top 8 to try and win more, So as opposed to where like how Pastimes is doing theirs, where it's just like, okay, you play all day, you get top 8, you get to play another day,
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm not sure which I prefer. I guess if it's a multiple day event, probably Pastimes I prefer. But for a one day, this was pretty fun.
Well, even if you look at the Energon Invitational, which we can kind of just segue into, that's going to be basically what PPT did, but over the course of 2 days. You're going to have this big 9-round event, and then you're going to have a cut to top 8. So it's kind of like the same thing, except you're going to play 9 rounds and then get like the night to rest and then go and try to win on Sunday, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, I like the PPT structure better, just as an overall, because I think it brings out a little bit more pressure on players. Because like at like the pastimes events at Origins and Gen Con, you had multiple shots to make it to the big event, to the top 32. But on this, like, you know, you had it. That was it. You had 19 players, top 8. You guys are it. There's no other cut. You know, there's no other second chance opportunity. So I think that it adds more pressure on the players, and it brings up the best competition, in my opinion. So
yeah, it was like, it was cool to see. There was all sorts of different. I don't know if have they put out any sort of comprehensive deck list or anything by the tournament organizers?
Even from my standpoint of sometimes we get, you know, deck lists fast or anything, I don't think we got anything at all. So I don't think they posted anything yet.
Yeah, it was interesting to see what everyone brought, and then kind of how they were like mashing faces against each other.
Yeah,
it was pretty intense, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, and then you wrote in your report on Facebook, you had like you basically had a whole coverage of the meta. So
yeah, I think there was like 4 or 5 decks I missed out of the 19.
Yeah.
Just I wasn't able to get around to all the tables.
Right.
But yeah, it was still, interesting to see a lot of Blaster, a lot of Shockwave.
Yeah, which I mean isn't shocking. Like it's really not. I mean, if anyone's been paying attention to like anything that gets posted on Vector Sigma, like, or anything on the Facebook groups, like, we've been putting up top 8, top 4s. And in almost all of those top 8, top 4s, there's been Blaster decks, there's been Shockwave decks, there's been Cars decks. Like, that whole event showed all of those things. So, like, I don't even know what type of conversation we're having about a metagame is. I'm just confused. I'm sorry. I don't even... If that's not the meta, I clearly don't know what it is.
Yeah. I didn't respond to the thread, but I was just like, maybe I don't know what meta means.
Yeah, like,
in this context.
What does it even mean? I don't know. Well, that's for another discussion. All right, so you did get into PPT Columbus. The cool thing about that, for me, is like, I really wanted to go. I wanted to be there. Yeah, I almost drove through the night just to play, because like that's how badly I wanted to be there. But in the end, it was the right move not to go. It sucks not playing and not taking the opportunity, but I would have been a zombie. So I'm glad. In the end, I'm glad I didn't go. But what we do have to look forward to now is the next 7 weeks until Energon. So how do you feel? You back? We good?
Yep.
All right. So about 7 weeks, we're out from Energon. And there's a lot of things that's going to happen between now and Energon. First off, we're getting a new set. Second of all, there's a new format, because now we have a limited format. And this time, unlike other events in the past, we actually have a bigger event leading up to it, because we have PPT Dallas to kind of, I'm not going to say it's going to like dramatically affect packs, but it's going to affect it enough because there's going to be known deck list out there.
Right. It's an opportunity to see out of who shows up, kind of here's what people are thinking about.
Right.
And we know I think you were you in, I don't remember where in Texas the players are,
Dallas.
But there's like a group of, in Dallas.
Yeah.
So we know there's going to be a group of competitive players that are going to show up.
I mean, like Kai, who was in top 32 at Gen Con, he's from Dallas. Adam Eckenberg, who I interviewed in a previous Traveling Transformer, he's from Dallas. He was top 16 at Origins. So, like, these are guys that have got around. Kent, top 8 Origins, so there's plenty of competitive players out in Dallas, and I know that they're pretty excited to get it, their first crack at that meta. So should be fun.
I'm really excited for it to see what happens.
Right. Now that like the season's kind of over, you got qualified at Gen Con. then I kind of, I did like a little mini series with a couple of the guys in the area. Like, how did you feel as a whole about the whole structure leading up to Energon Invitational?
I think it's been, for me, it's a new experience, but it's been really cool going, like doing Origins, doing Gen Con, and then having this, let's see if I can do basic math, 3 month period where we had local qualifiers, and then having like this last tournament to cap it off, unless Dallas ends up,
Right. Right.
counting. It's been neat to see how things have shaken out during that time period where we had all those qualifier options. We had uh, 2 fresh sets, and then now we're going to have another one for or the end of wave 2, the beginning of wave 3, and then now we're going to have wave 4 come out. It's been neat to kind of keep a tab on the virtual community and see kind of what different locals were playing, seeing what different little like meta pockets are.
Right.
So like observing, that's been really fun.
Right. Yeah, and then the big thing now is like, it was just like this whole landslide of events. Week after week, you had people that are, showing up every week trying to get qualified, really fighting for their invites. So it was really fun to see that. Like, Stefan, I think, said it best. Like, Stefan said in the interview I did with him, he's like, it was really great to see that side, like that edge, that like that angst. So I agree with him. It was like, people came out, they wanted to win. They were playing their best decks that they could. So it was good competition, for those players that were really trying to get in there. So, and the funny thing is like in my area, I know not everyone did. There are guys that went to 6-7 events and didn't queue. So, they're going to be fighting for last chance qualifiers,
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, we had in Cincinnati, I qualified at Gen Con. Then we had 2 local qualifiers where one of the guys, Rob Clark, who top 8'd at this past event,
PPT,
he qualified there. So then when we got to top 4 at the PPT, Nick from Cincinnati was the last one who hadn't qualified yet.
Oh, so like, he just got it no matter what.
Yeah, you could see his like stress and he got second place.
Yeah.
You could see stress once he got top 4, like, okay. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've seen that expression a couple times this season. Yeah, there was definitely a couple times where someone was just like, thank God, like, like got there.
Yeah.
So, I wasn't there when Eric, our friend Eric from Bacon Ice Cream, he got his, but I can imagine how goddamn happy he was when he got it. Because he was losing in top 8s, losing in top 4s. He just couldn't get the win when he needed it. But man, I was happy to hear he got it. All right. Well, so it was a good season. I think I said I think it was just fun. I think it really brought out a lot of good competition. But now it's coming, right? The whole event, the big event, the big daddy, big granny daddy, whatever you want to say. Are you excited for it? Are you excited to come see me in Philly for once?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. Yeah. Instead of you traveling to the Midwest, I'm excited. I think I am, for some reason, after PPT. Now that I have some context of like what other events work like, I'm excited to go back to a big weekend long. Even if for us it only has to be 2 days.
Yeah, but we'll be there all weekend.
Yeah. I'm excited to like go through the gauntlet again. Especially, again, we're gonna have Wave 4 drops 3 weeks, or it drops on the 9th, right? 2 weeks later, basically, we have one tournament, and then the week or week and a half after that, we have the big one.
Yeah.
So it's going to be exciting to see what everyone's brewing up, because I know a lot of us are. Like, I know you guys are working on your stuff. Wreck and Rule's working on their stuff. Everyone's like, as we're getting trickled down the different cards, we're trying stuff out, tweaking stuff, and trying to figure out what works. I'm super excited to see what everyone brings.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be big. It's gonna be competitive. I'm really excited. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for it. Like, it's I was trying to like fill the itch, this weekend to go to PPT, just because like it's been so long since Gen Con. So like now the itch is just worse. Now I gotta wait till December. It's like, oh God. So you know, I'll be counting down the weeks for sure. And you know what? The funny thing is I think, like I said, I think we're 7 weeks away from as of this recording, and it'll be here, yeah, before we know it. You know, we'll be saying Merry Christmas, like.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And I feel a lot more comfortable. I think after PPT, I accomplished three things. I broke my streak that I do terrible the first day of an event. There was only one day. I didn't screw it up.
There you go.
I didn't lose my first match once we cut. Before,
yeah. You broke the cut rule. Yeah.
Broke the cut rule, and then I played blue. So now I feel like when I'm brewing, and whatever I'm going to be practicing with for the Energon Invitational qualifier, I'll at least have one aggro deck I'm comfortable with, and then hopefully one control deck I'm comfortable with to be a little more versatile going into the event. And of course, for the actual event, we only have one day. There isn't really that time to pivot, but the last minute qualifiers are a chance to kind of start testing those out against all sorts of people.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, is it acceptable to say that in this first year of your gaming Transformers career that you have had a ton of growth?
Oh yeah,
That's good.
I think so. I hope so. Yeah.
I mean, you clearly have. You've showed it. You know, at every event. You know, you've made top 32 twice. There's not a lot of people that can say that. You know, you might be like, I don't know, one of 10 people. Off the top of my head, like, I guess that's right. I can't remember. Not everyone went to each one, but still, you know, so that's big. And then you went in top 4 this event. You know, and that's great. You know, congrats, man. You did awesome. Yeah. Definitely.
Although
big
I do have
congrats
to say, I am still making rookie mistakes, so I gotta give a shout out. So when I went to PPT on Sunday, I brought Shockwave Hot Rod, and I brought this guy here. That's Visper.
That's a 5-star.
Yeah, so that's
You're
26 stars.
Yeah.
So I showed up, I wrote my deck list out, I redid the math in my head, and I was like, oh, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So there was a guy from Cleveland, Anton. He let me borrow his Stormcloud, which I'm gonna mail back to him. But he just let me borrow his Stormcloud.
I'm sure he's very desperate to get his Stormcloud back.
yeah. But he was super generous about it. And like without the generosity of him just letting me have that for the tournament, like that would have been basically a game 1 loss every game or whatever the hell that is. My success wouldn't have happened. So that's been the other great thing about the game, has just been meeting all sorts of awesome people.
You should have did what Stefan did though. You should have had him sign it.
Oh, I should have had him sign. Well, but he's getting it back. I should have had him sign a different card.
That's fair. Quick note on the Energon. How do you feel about Limited? Are you excited for it?
I am. I think I'm trying to think. Besides you guys, I think I'm the only other one that's been posting videos on Limited ever. I don't know that anyone else really has. Well, Turbo Sealed. People do Turbo Sealed.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Like, yeah, the 6 sealed, and then my personal preference is draft. I like draft.
Yep.
But I understand in like a tournament setting, like that's just too much time.
No, I don't.
You draft like the day
I don't
before,
think that it is.
then...
I just think it is currently. It's the way that like our game is going. Like I don't think they're gonna have the staff to cover 100 people doing a draft.
Drafting, yeah.
That's fine. If that's what it is, that's fine.
But so I've been playing draft and sealed since wave 2 basically. Which wave 2 draft and sealed was. Well, we won't talk about that. But then wave 3 limited was awesome.
Yep.
And then
it was fun.
I'm super excited. Correct me if I'm wrong. At Energon Invitational, it's going to be 3 Siege 1 packs, 3 Siege 2 packs.
Yes.
So I got. So when I won at PBT, they gave me a Combiner Wars box. I actually asked. I was like, "Can I get a Siege box? Because I would love to just have a box to crack open once I get Siege 2 packs and do some practice."
Yeah.
So this one's going to the charity raffle.
Yeah.
But a buddy of mine, we're splitting us 1 or 2 Siege 1 boxes, and then we've got our Siege 2 boxes pre-ordered. So we're gonna get some practice in.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling. I'm not as apprehensive as I normally am about draft for whatever reason. I don't think I'm particularly strong at it, but I enjoy the puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, and plus, like you said, you've already kind of been working on it, so you're honestly probably steps up on most players. which is
Hopefully, knock on wood.
yeah. um, yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, we're 7 weeks away. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and there's gonna be a ton of brewing between now and then. And like I said, Dallas is that it's different. It's definitely different this time. Dallas is that first step in the meta. So
and do we know is Dallas the exact same format as Columbus?
yeah, it's gonna they had wave 4 will be legal, so it'll be like I said, it'll be the first showing of the meta, for sure. So I'll definitely be looking out. I'll be rooting for my Dallas friends that I've already spent plenty of time with.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool. It'll be cool to see exactly how they all do. But let's move past it and let's talk some real fun stuff. I want to hear your extra life pitch. You started running this campaign, and like from the moment you did it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like I actually really like what he's doing there, and I just wanted to really give you the floor and let you have another channel to say your story on.
Oh, sure. I was going to say, you said, I want to hear your extra life pitch. I'm like, I am pretty sure you heard it already a couple times. But yeah, so like I said, Arbitrary Hero is a channel run by a group of friends. We're all physically in Cincinnati. Almost. Two of us recently moved to Boston, whatever.
Losers.
Yeah. Their need for, I don't know, crab. But so Extra Life is a campaign, a fundraising platform dedicated to the Children's Miracle Network of children's hospitals all over America.
Yeah.
I first heard about it actually from two other Transformers fans, Chris Ho and Aaron Smith, who run WTF at TFW.
Yeah.
Aaron, he runs his own Extra Life team, and he's been doing it for years. Mm-hmm. So I first started paying attention to it through him donating to his campaign. But then we were looking around here and we saw that Cincinnati Children's Hospital, which is a hospital near and dear to all our hearts, is part of the Children's Miracle Network. So we could use a campaign team to raise money for them. And everyone on the team has been like personally touched by that hospital. Mm-hmm. I had really terrible ear infections when I was a kid. I got multiple surgeries on this ear. They basically had to reconstruct my left eardrum because it kept perforating with infections. Children's Hospital are the guys that treated me. I was a scared kid that was in pain. They did the best they could to comfort me as I was healing. Hannah, who's another person on the channel, she was a preemie baby, and without the hospital care that she received, we might not ever have met.
Yeah.
Nate and Tom, they're friends of mine. Tom is diabetic. He's been since he was little. He got his medicine, at a very affordable rate for his insulin and stuff through the Children's Hospital. Nate is very stupid, and he gets hurt. When he was a kid, he hurt himself a lot, constantly breaking limbs. So Extra Life, with all the sports and stuff he was playing, Cincinnati Children's Hospital, helped him out. And then Craig on the channel, he went through a lot of physical stuff. And I think he put up his story on his page. So we each have like a personal connection to this hospital. And we're each raising money in our own way. The team goal is to raise $3,000.
Now, just to interrupt, that actually went up, right? Didn't you originally have 1,000?
Yes.
And you hit that already, which is awesome.
It was our first year. We thought, okay, 1,000 between 5 people. That's like 200 each. That's achievable.
Yep.
And we gave ourselves like 6 weeks to do that.
Yep.
And then I think we hit it in 1 week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we crushed that goal thanks to everyone's generosity. And then we were like, okay, let's be more ambitious. We pushed out to 3,000.
Yeah.
And then we each have individual goals. My personal one is 1,000. Everyone else, I think, is raising 500, and if you add it up, it's 3K.
Yeah.
So for my part of the campaign, besides our personal challenges, if I reach 1,000, which off the top of my head, I think I'm $45 away from 1,000.
Wow, awesome.
So if I reach 1,000 during our 24-hour live stream on November 2nd, which is like our big fundraising push at the end of it, we're going to shave my head. That has been decided.
Oh, man. You are shaving your head, sir.
Yeah. So that's why this is growing out, because I think if I was bald and baby faced, I'd look like a baby bird. So I gotta build up the chin illusion while I can now.
Whew. You're
Yeah,
gonna be a
I'm
brand
trying.
new baby when I see you in December.
Yeah.
Whew. Oh.
Yeah. So that one is my personal goal. So that's an incentive to donate. But then also for my part of the campaign, I'm doing 2 raffles.
Mhm.
One, I've put a video out already. It's a bunch of Transformers trading card game prizes and booster boxes. I've got a Siege 2 box that I've already pre-ordered that is going to the raffle. This Combiner Wars box is going to the raffle. I know you guys at Vector Sigma have donated a month of your high-end Patreon.
Yep.
So that's like the coaching, the Discord server, all that stuff, which the raffle happens November 2nd. So that gives a winner the month of November to start prepping for EIQ with your guys' help.
Yep.
Wreck and Rule donated tokens. Jamie Madison from Powered by Primus, he donated a commissioned drawing. So people have seen, like he did Grimlock, he did Starscream, he did Soundwave.
Nice.
The winner of that prize will get a character of their choice done by him as a unique art piece. Yeah, so like everyone in the Transformers TCG community has been super generous. I'm also doing a toy raffle. That video, I don't know, it'll probably already be up by the time this goes out. It's going up tomorrow as of this recording.
So this will go up on Wednesday, so you'll have a day. So it'll be linked in the description.
Yeah. That I've got a ton of prizes. Basically, like those 4 boxes are my trading cards, and everything else is prizes that's gonna be for the raffle. I gotta, and I'm very motivated, to get rid of this because I'm not a cluttered person.
Yeah,
like, this is causing me a little bit of anxiety.
I call bullshit. You look like a cluttered person.
But yeah, so
I've stayed in a room with you. You live like cluttery.
Well,
you had stuff everywhere.
No, it's in a neat like
neat
pile.
Don't neat me. Don't neat me. Get out of here.
But yeah, so either raffle, anyone can enter. All they have to do is donate to my Extra Life page. Me specifically, I'm not raffling off for my other friends.
Right.
Donate to my Extra Life page. A minimum $5 donation. Make it non-anonymous so I can reach out to you if you win.
Right.
And put in the message either Transformers TCG raffle if you want to enter that one, or Transformers toy raffle if you want to enter that one. And then any denomination of 5 above that they go is just going to be an extra entry. So if they donate $25, that's 5 entries. Yeah. And then I know on top of all that we're doing, you guys and this was not solicited by me at all. You guys were impassioned and put together. Is that next weekend?
All right, so I'm gonna do this spiel because Vince said it on Tech Talk. He's an incredibly charitable person. Scott's the same way. And for me, my own little story is I'm actually very close to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I've actually been working on and off for them for the last 13 years. So I've done a ton of work at Children's Hospital. I've seen everything they do. I've talked to the nurses there. I've talked to doctors there. They are incredible people. My sister was the same way with, you were saying, with your ears. My sister had 7 surgeries by the time she was 8 years old. And that was all through Children's Hospital. So they are very near and dear to my heart as well. And literally the moment you had announced this, Scott had reached out to me and he goes, "Hey, I want to do something for camera." Yeah, sounds great. And the first thing, it was just, we're just going to donate this little, this little tier thing, no big deal. And then we talked about it again, and Scott's like, "Hey, I want to do this thing where what we're going to do is for every player at this event on Saturday coming up at Top Deck Games in Collingswood, New Jersey, every single player that comes in from us, from Vector Sigma, we're going to donate $5 towards your Extra Life campaign." And that is just completely because we love and support all of this that you're doing. We think it's incredible. And you're a great friend to us as well. So it's just all balled up into one incredible thing for us to do and us to be able to help in another way. Even last year, Scott did the Toys for Tots thing. And this is just another thing for us to do and us to help. And I'm very excited to be a part of it. And it makes me proud to be. It really does.
Yeah, it's super generous, and it's awesome that you guys are putting together. And the tournament, you already mentioned the details. It starts
Saturday. At noon. The Facebook will all be in the link. It's the same Top Deck case event we have every week. So the other thing is, this isn't taking away from any of the prizes that Top Deck offers. This is just us adding in some stuff, and I think we are going to be raffling off some cards there as well to add to the total donation that we donate. So there might be like a 50-50 or something like that. And it's just something for us to help you and really support everything you're doing.
That is super exciting. Yeah, that's going to be an awesome tournament.
Yeah,
and I always like hearing about the top. I remember like that for, geez, like all of before Gen Con, basically, that was the only meta for the game because that was the place where the most people could get together to play competitively.
Yeah, I mean, every one of those events, if you want to just look at Origins and Gen Con, you're talking about I am at every one of these events, Stefan's at every one of these events, Scott's at every one of these events, Vin's at every one of these events, Mark Kinney's at all these events, Adam Bixler's at all these events, and sorry for Lily, she's excited.
Oh, no.
So, there's a lot of top players in the Northeast area, and it's very competitive every time. I mean, even when there's 6 of us, it's still competitive because at the end of the day, we like beating up each other. But we're looking for a big turnout. We really want to support you as best as we possibly can, and this is the end all be all of the meta also. So for us, it's our last hoorah in this meta. So we're really hoping for a big turnout.
Yeah, it's a great like grassroots player-driven send-off to Wave 3, which has been a ton of fun. It's been I was super excited when Combiners came out. When Siege was first announced, I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss Combiners, but no, it's been some of the tools and characters we've gotten in Siege have been a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah, I mean the game's evolved. It's and even from Gen Con till now, the meta has definitely evolved. I mean, at Gen Con there was only one blaster deck. In all top 32. Now it's in every top 4 and every top 8. Like, it's just that simple. Shockwave really didn't even exist. Like, it did. It was there at Gen Con, but it didn't have any presence, really. And here it is.
Scott wrote, not about Shockwave specifically, but I remember reading an article, or maybe he was just talking to me about it, that how his personal theory is that metas will shift control over time because it takes longer to optimize those decks versus building something that's aggro.
It's more along the lines of an aggro deck has one linear play, and it's very easy to figure that out faster than it is for a control deck to figure out what it needs to answer. So it's hard to go into an event with brand new meta when you don't have the answers because you don't even know what the problems are. So it's the reason why it generally develops that way in most games, and it's kind of proven itself to be in this game on multiple occasions already. Like at the end of the day, Origins was the end of a meta, and then Gen Con was the beginning of a new meta, and both of those were indicative of that statement. At Origins, General Optimist 3-wide control was everywhere. At Gen Con, there was aggro cars and bugs and blaster and 4-wide cars. It was nothing but aggro decks that really. It just proves, and this PPT was kind of the close of the meta, and it showed that there was 2 blue Shockwave control decks in top 4, and one of them ended up winning the whole event. So yeah.
Is there, I guess I got time for a question for you. Is there, with Wave 4 coming around the corner, is there something in particular, character or battle card that you're most excited about for Wave 4?
All right. So going into Wave 2, for me, I kind of rid off Combiners, as a whole. And I didn't think any of them were that good. And Aerial Bots was kind of the ace in the hole. And it's probably to this day my favorite deck in the meta that I could possibly play on any given weekend. So I'm actually excited to look at the patrols and see if any of those can line up and if there is an ace in the hole in the patrols. And to see if one of those is legitimately a top tier deck, kind of like how Aerial Bots was. So
that would be awesome. I am excited for the what are they called now that we have the airstrike patrol. I know the patrol members aren't the greatest. but that Lord ability does make me like really excited.
Yeah, I mean they're all pretty unique. They all do really interesting things, and they all have like kind of just enough to be competitive. It's just a matter of like trying to figure out which one actually is. And the other thing is they're all four like they all have enough room to give you another character. So like you're gonna have 7 stars left over no matter which way you swing it. So it'll be interesting on what you can do with that 7 stars and how much that impacts the rest of your deck.
Right. Yeah.
Impactor. Just saying.
Oh well, I'm already like, if people have been watching the stream, like I was playing around with Lord Megatron and Sight and Demolisher, but now that Impactor is in Octagon, I'm gonna start proxy testing with him.
Yeah.
Bringing tanks back. That's probably what I'm most excited for. Is that I love tanks, but they haven't gone anywhere.
You can't bring
like,
tanks
maybe
back.
They can do it. Maybe they can do it.
You can't bring tanks back. They were never here.
You gotta bring them for the first time.
Yeah, you can attempt to assert them. But you can't bring them back. They were never here.
Yeah.
How about you? Is there like anything yet? Any battle card? We just talked about some characters. Any battle card that you're really excited for?
Is it cheating if I say it's the tank shield?
No, that's fine. Card's good.
Actually, maybe it's biased because I got to reveal it. But the adaptive plating seems really neat. And then I didn't reveal it, but that combined with like acute reflexes, like going wider, having room for more value out of white pips seems nothing but goodness.
Yeah. I think in general, just the white pips in this set are mostly just more playable than we've had in the past. So it'll be interesting to see how much that does change deck building in general. Because I mean, our General Optimus deck at Gen Con didn't have a single white pip in it because we didn't feel it needed one because none of them were good enough, really.
Right, and with his focus, you can kind of filter out.
Yeah, so it's kind of not a big deal. But now there's some more playable white cards. We're like, all right, well, I mean, that card actually might see play now. We can like that might make the deck even more interesting with focus and stuff like that. So, I think the white battle cards in general are just gonna definitely warp the meta.
Yeah. And then mercenaries. Mercenaries are, I don't know yet what I'm gonna do with mercenaries, but I'm excited that they.
Yeah, I'm the same thing. I like mercenaries a lot. I'm very interested in the bounty ability in general, to see if it is good enough or if it is like maybe slightly oddly win more. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's been funny. I thought when revenge as a mechanic was announced, I was like, oh, they're gonna do so much with this. I'm not gonna care about whatever else they do. And like, I don't really care about safeguard. I'll admit, like, that seems fine. But then they announced bounty. And now I'm trying to think back. I'm like, did I forget about revenge?
You didn't forget it. It's not on anything else. I mean, in fairness, what people don't actually realize is that battle masters basically have revenge.
Yeah.
So like every battle master might as well they should have just put the keyword revenge on it and like revenge. This comes back as a weapon. This comes back as an armor. So like it's kind of funny that like that's kind of what revenge actually is. So it's still very good and prevalent. It's just word it differently on battle masters.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything else, sir?
No, I think that's it. It's been good talking, man. This has been fun. I missed you yesterday, but I'm excited to see you in person in Philly.
I know. Yeah. So just my little funny story is that this is the second time we're doing this. Yeah. We had this great recording about 6-7 weeks ago talking about everything, and then it just did not work out. Lily's saying hi again, everybody. So we had a lost archive video that we'll always have together, just like that one night in Indianapolis.
Oh, always. But I think it worked out great.
Honestly, I think this one was more fun because we got to talk PPT, we got to talk Extra Life, and we had more to talk about for cards in general that kit came out. So I guess it kind of worked out that the other one kind of didn't work out.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? But all in all, I'm really excited that we got together. I'm sorry, Lily is just being Lily.
No, it's okay.
And I think as a whole, this was a lot of fun, and definitely congratulations one more time on your top 4, sir. And I'll see you in Philly.
Thanks. See you, man.
All right, see you, man. Guys, Dan here from VectorSigma.info. We wanted to take this moment to thank all of our patrons for believing in the service we're providing. If you're not yet a member of the Patreon, feel free to click on the link for other podcasts like this one, or verse videos, or any of the other great content that we provide on our YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.